Yeah, so this is a really, frankly, like disturbing story that I came across this week. So Jordan Peterson, I don't always agree with him on everything. He's gone down a little bit of a different path lately with some takes I don't agree with, but he made it big as a clinical psychologist talking about self-improvement and helping a lot of young men get their lives together. And he approached things from a human psychology lens because of his background as a clinical psychologist. Now, he has become, I think, more political, and he's outspoken on more culture war issues, very controversial. He first made it big because the university he was teaching at was trying to mandate the use of the transgender students' pronouns, and he took a stand that I won't on free speech grounds. And so that was his first thing when he blew up. But now he's become, in many ways, a right-wing intellectual and commentator, and so he said some controversial things. What's disturbing, though, is what's happening now is the governing body that licenses clinical psychologists in Ontario, but backed by the government, the College of Psychologists of Ontario, is demanding that he acknowledge that he, quote-unquote, lacked professionalism in public statements and that he undergo a coaching program of remedial education, as the Wall Street Journal put it. They're investigating him for his tweets and his comments on Joe Rogan, because apparently people have time and time again just mass reported him to this regulatory body to try to get his license revoked. And a panel from this organization says the comments at issue appear to undermine the public trust in the profession as a whole and raise questions about your ability to carry out your responsibilities as a psychologist. But Hannah,
what
I know
did he say?
Yeah, look, you tell us, right? We have the list right here of these shocking and terrible things he said.
Let's jump in. I mean, and I want to clarify, I'm with you too. Like, I feel like I used to really like Jordan Peterson. I read his book when it came out, The 12 Rules for Life, found a lot of value in it. He's become kind of a right-wing provocateur more and more so recently, and I feel like he's kind of getting that audience capture thing where he has been saying like edgier and edgier stuff where it's just, I don't know, it feels off brand for what his message was. He used to be somebody who seemed more uplifting. So I'm going to dig into this, but I just want to say, like, I have noticed a change in him, but regardless, there is no excuse for this kind of investigation into somebody. I don't care what they said. That's crazy. So first they accused him of joking about suicide because he tweeted at someone who was concerned about Earth's overpopulation. And the original tweet said, based on the record of human behavior, we are already overpopulating this small world. Any arguments I have heard for supporting such a large human population completely overlook the huge loss of species and ecosystems resulting from our self-absorbed attention. He quote tweeted it and said, "You're free to leave at any point."
And now the people who complained said that he was joking and encouraging suicide. Like, give me a break.
First and foremost, I used to run a Facebook group called Dark Mental Health Humor that had tons of people in there that had suicidal ideology and depression. And guess what? We found it supremely helpful to make jokes about suicide and mental health. That is a good way to cope. Like, get out of here. I cannot stand these wussies. Stupid.
They're mad that he called a Justin Trudeau government official a prick. And that he shared posts questioning COVID mandates and policies.
There it is.
And of course, that gets you on the no list. Now, this one, I didn't like this thing that he posted. Doesn't mean he should lose his license, but I did not like this one.
Oh, so I remember this. He shared a plus-size Sports Illustrated model cover and said, "Not beautiful." Which is mean, but like, I didn't agree with him, but like, it's kind of, I mean, like,
I thought she was beautiful. Now, she's not fit and healthy necessarily, but she's also not like 500 pounds like some of these people. She's definitely a little bit overweight.
Like, beauty is subjective. Somebody could share a picture of me and be like, "Not beautiful." Like, and I'm sure they do. People come after looks all the time. Like, they do. So, like, get over it.
So his whole thing was like, he's not going to start believing that being overweight is beautiful just because the woke people want us to. And I get that. I wouldn't have put it so crassly, right? And gone after this random model. But a lot of people were pointing out that he's like this old, sickly, thin white dude. Like,
it's always the Ugo men online with something to say about other people's looks. Never have I ever seen a hot man online commenting on other people's looks. Not once, not ever.
But so I thought that wasn't the greatest tweet, right? But
yeah.
it really doesn't have anything to do with how he's treated his patients. And that's what your license should be about. If you're getting referred for professional misconduct, it should be like, all these people complaining weren't his patients. They never worked with him. And if you had a bad experience, or he was like in some way incompetent in your care or neglectful in your care, that's the kind of thing that should be reported. Not like his tweet hurt my fifis. Like, what?
Yeah. Oh, and then lastly, I do remember this. He actually got canceled on Twitter for this. Like Twitter took his account down, but he referred to the transgender actress Elliot Page by his former dead name, Ellen Page, and said a doctor was criminal for performing a double mastectomy on a healthy female body. Again, don't agree with him. This is one of the areas where I'm just like, why are you so anti-trans all of a sudden? Like, I don't get it. But it has nothing to do with how you treat people. And it really should come down to that. And that's something that the market can handle. If enough people don't want to see a therapist who's anti-trans, he won't work anyway. So, like, the free market can more than handle that. And if he doesn't get canceled for it, then it's not your business. Like, move along.
Yeah, and I would say, like, his comments on trans stuff just kind of, he believes people can't change their sex, can't change their gender. That is, whether people on the left like it or not, a widely held view. Mm-hmm. And just trying to act like it's beyond the pale, it's not. And this idea of a dead name is, look, I would be respectful to somebody who's changed their name and used their new name in most circumstances, I think. But it's not like, why is it that we're supposed to, like, this word is dead now? You can't say the name Bruce Jenner on Twitter. That will get you in trouble, as if this person didn't go by that name for decades and literally win an Olympic medal. Like, Caitlyn Jenner is fine with you talking about Bruce Jenner in reference to her past. Like, we've gone in this overcorrection of you can't even say these things when this is actually widely held views. Let's just be honest. And it's really nothing extreme or crazy. And so you don't have to agree with it, but it's hardly a beyond the pale statement. And more importantly, like we talked about, these aren't accusations from clients that have been mistreated, trying to get Jordan Peterson's license taken away by this Canadian body. These are just people accusing him of wrongthink and wrong speak because their fifis were hurt by his tweets. And they also submitted his entire 3-hour conversation with Joe Rogan and just said, all of this is a violation of professional conduct. So the fact that this body is going along with this farce and coming after him, he is putting up a fight, releasing all of it, going after them. He may lose his license. I really don't know. It looks like he might, but good for him for standing up against this, because I think it's just insane.
Well, and per usual, people need to be well aware of how little free speech you actually have in places like Canada and London, very Western places that are just so regressive, so authoritarian, and this is what many on the left are pushing for here in the United States. So this is why we are such stringent free speech advocates. You really cannot give an inch to these people, because you will end up getting brought before people for wrongthink, basically, and having your livelihood taken away if they get their wishes, which is terrifying.